Hey everybody, this is Yuri from Shure. We get a lot of questions about the differences between all of our microphones, so today we're going to look at a few of our dynamic vocal mics with special guest, Laura Davidson. We're going to start with the world-famous SM58, then we'll compare the SM58 with the Beta 58A, then we'll talk a little bit about the KSM8, and then we will finish with the 55 series and some beautiful singing from Laura. Let's have some fun. Please make sure that you watch this video wearing headphones. And remember that no matter how many videos you watch, only you can decide which microphone is the correct one for you. So let's get to it. So Laura, why would somebody want to use a dynamic microphone on stage?
So I'm using the SM58 capsule on our QLXD handheld, but whether you're going wired or wireless, you can know that all of these capsules are going to sound the same and great across the board. Benefit of using a dynamic over a condenser is that dynamics can take a little bit more SPL or sound pressure level before distorting or clipping, and they're better for louder environments as condensers can tend to be a little bit more sensitive. But I will say that we make some incredible condenser mics for stage use. You should check out Yuri's video, which talks about exactly that.
We begin our journey with the world-famous SM58, used in every single small bar in your hometown to every single live stage around the world. I'm speaking into my 50th anniversary edition to point out that these microphones have been in production since 1966. The SM58 has withstood the test of time, and it is extremely rugged and durable. The microphone has a steel mesh grille and an enamel-coated metal construction to resist all sorts of wear and abuse. The SM58 is a cardioid microphone, which means it picks up sound primarily from the front, a little bit from the sides, and rejects sounds going into the back of the microphone. The frequency response of the SM58 is tailored for vocals, with a brightened mid-range and a bass roll-off to control proximity effect. Laura, what do you enjoy about using the SM58?
What I love about my SM58 is that no matter where I am in the world, whether it's a large or small venue, I know exactly how to use my 58 to get the sound that I'm going for. I know how it's going to work on my voice, whether I'm speaking or singing, and it gives me that smooth, even response every time.
One of the most common questions that we get is, what is the difference between a Beta 58A and an SM58 other than the blue ring? Probably the biggest difference is that the Beta 58A has a super cardioid pickup pattern, which means it focuses even more on what's directly in front of it and rejects even more from the sides in relation to the SM58. Compared to the SM58, the Beta 58A has an extended frequency response, so you get a little bit more of a rise in the highs and a little bit more extension in the lows. Combined with the super cardioid pickup pattern, this makes it an incredibly popular microphone for people that perform in very, very loud environments. Additionally, the Beta 58A uses a different magnet from the SM58, which gives it a slightly higher output, which also makes it popular to use in louder environments. And now we'll go back to Laura so she can tell us about her experience using the Beta 58A.
My experience with the Beta 58A is long. I've had one since 2004. Not this one. This is the BLX version in wireless. But it sounds exactly the same as my wired variant. And I love how it gives me a little bit of an extra boost in the high register and also rejects even more sound coming from the stage going into the mic so it can focus on my voice specifically.
And now you're hearing my voice through a KSM8, which is a truly unique dynamic microphone in the Shure lineup. Like the SM58, the KSM8 is a cardioid microphone. Unlike the SM58, or really any other dynamic microphone out there, this microphone uses a dual diaphragm design, which means it has very, very, very limited proximity effect. What this means in practice is that I can get pretty close to it, or I can get a little bit further away, and there's still a pretty good consistency in the sound. This also means it requires less of a presence peak in the high frequencies, or the mid-high frequencies, that you would get out of the SM58 or the Beta 58A. As a result, the KSM8 has a much more natural sound compared to its other dynamic counterparts. The grille of the KSM8 microphone is also woven on the inside with a hydrophobic cloth to minimize the amount of moisture that gets into the microphone. Finally, the KSM8 uses our patented diaphragm stabilization system, which minimizes the amount of handling noise. And now we go back to Laura so she can talk about her experience using the KSM8 as a vocalist.
I still remember the first time I used the KSM8 after I joined the company. I loved the microphone initially. I had never heard anything like it before. And if you're listening with headphones, you'll see how it has this crazy big sweet spot that dynamic microphones just don't normally have. And the lack of proximity effect was kind of jarring at first. I was like, what is happening? Why can't I get this to build up with low frequencies? So I love how smooth it is. I love how natural it is. And I love using it on stage because it just lets me sing effortlessly and not feel like I have to do anything special to make the mic enhance my voice.
And we conclude with our world-famous 55 series, whose design goes back all the way to the 1930s. We actually have 2 models in our 55 series. The one you're seeing and hearing here is the 55SH Series 2. This microphone is based on the original Dualdyne design, coupled with some modern acoustic improvements. The 55SH Series 2 is constructed out of die-cast metal, so it is extremely rugged. It has a cardioid polar pattern similar to the SM58. And its frequency response, like the 58 and the Beta 58A, is tailored towards vocals and speech. The 55SH Series 2 also has a pretty cool on-off switch on the bottom. We'll now go to Laura, who has the other microphone in our 55 series, the Super 55. Laura, what can you tell us about your mic?
This is my Super 55. What you might notice right off the bat, it's got blue foam. That's difference number 1. But number 2, under this grill is a Beta 58 capsule, so it's specifically a super cardioid pattern, making it that much better at rejecting sounds coming in from the rear and the sides, and giving you modern functionality and an updated design to that 55SH that Yuri just showed you. So, same great design, some modern updates, and just a cool look.
What a cool microphone, right? Now that you've heard us talk into every single one of these mics, what's even better? Hearing Laura sing into these microphones. So Laura, take it away.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
And thank you so much, Laura, for those wonderful examples. And there you have it. If you have any other questions about these microphones, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time.